In the midst of a war for our freedoms and rights, for the conscience of man and pursuit of our happiness, continental men sought for release of their friends, so they chose them a man to negotiate releases. It was Francis Scott Key who would take up this deed, and barter prisoners so their men would be freed. For no continental should despair or cave, o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave. So on to the ships in the harbor they went, and amicable was their negotiations. 1 man for 1 man was the deal that they struck, and he told the prisoners they'd return to their station. But the captain informed Francis of the great storm. The armada of Britain soon would be born over the harbor to fight and to break, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. But the fort that you sack, Francis then did protest, has few soldiers there, it is mostly civilians. But on deaf ears this fell, the siege, it was set, relentless attacks would befall that pavilion, till lowered by guards were the stripes and the stars, or all of the soldiers laid in their graveyard. So Francis told all of the prisoners to pray for the land of the free and the home of the brave. The fight had begun in the midst of the night, with minimal warning or real preparation. Francis watched from the ship, staying close to his men, and relaying all sights by his own observation. Then by candlelight and the roar of the fight, he penned out a poem that millions recite. And here are the words that he wrote and portrayed, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And while in the night the dark brooding bombast led up very little against the Americans, Francis quietly prayed, as did all of the troops. Deep inside of the ship they lifted petitions. Then Francis he heard the cannoneers' words train all their dread fire on the flag they concurred, and they prayed that the star-spangled banner yet waved o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Many sing this anthem, but they do not know the tale. They don't know the darkness, the unsettling suspension. As Francis Scott Key and his prisoner soldiers waited, hoping that God would give them attention. Then the red light of dawn, it grew slowly warm. On horror or victory would the sun's light be drawn. And in Francis's words, now we hear what he gazed o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. On the shore dimly seen through the mists of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in dread silence reposes, what is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses? Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam, in full glory reflected now shines in the stream. 'Tis the star-spangled banner, oh long may it wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. On return to the fort, the men all rejoiced, but worried for that which the war had took from them. Midst the joy and the hope, Francis saw a great sight, in full glory of daylight that eased trepidation. The flag it stood tall o'er the top of the wall, tattered and crooked, but seen by them all. And a third verse to his poem he wrote and portrayed, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And where is that band that so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And what did they see when they entered those walls? A bloodied and broke but unbowed populace, and hundreds of dead strewn as seed by the shock. Their echoing cries freely go down to abyss. But beneath that flagpole laid a mountain of souls, who held up their hopes and refused to let go. For no bloody tyrant should ever hold sway o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Should the deeds by these men be lost due to time, should the valor and cunning God produced in great droves be held in some case in a museum's walls, or should echo the cries of those men in our throats, there's only one King over all earth we sing, and his name is Christ, and forever he'll reign. And the fourth verse from Francis this truth does purvey, for the land of the free and the home of the brave. O thus be it ever, when free men shall stand between their loved homes and the war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, may the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must, when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust. And the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.